Good evening. First tonight, a world exclusive as we bring you new images of the Titanic and in particular a gold necklace found on the seabed beside it, not seen for more than a century.
It's all thanks to a local company who's taken on the colossal challenge of mapping the wreck and a 3-mile stretch of debris, a task with particular resonance as 29 of the 2,240 passengers on board were Channel Islanders.
Yes, and for our reporter Alex Spiceley, this story was far more personal than just the discovery of some precious jewellery, as you're about to see.
Unworn and unseen since April 15th, 1912, a necklace that sunk with the Titanic, now ready to be seen by the world.
An astonishing find, I guess, is we found a megalodon tooth, which is fashioned into a necklace. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
But there's more. The Channel Island company Magellan took 700,000 images of the seabed to create this.
Well, it's astonishing, right? The data is A, beautiful, and B, breathtaking. It's a scene of an accident. What is not widely understood is Titanic is in 2 parts, and there's a sort of 3 square mile debris field between the bow and the stern, which is what we've mapped in incredible detail.
Work that took the crew of the MV Freya weeks to collect in the North Atlantic Ocean. The boat is now in dock in Jersey, but the effects of seeing the wreckage in such detail will remain forever.
I don't think that one can really understand how it must have felt, at that, in the darkness of night, and you're about to, the ship that you were on is sinking underneath you, and entering the water, and people's already losing lives there. So that was a bit, that was a bit emotional. It certainly was, yeah.
The scans taken on this very vessel give us a level of insight and detail we've never seen before. And for those families who lost loved ones on board, like myself, a glimpse into their final resting place.
My grandma's great-uncle Thomas Davison died on board the Titanic. Now, years later, I've been able to speak to a local historian to find out what more I can about him.
And Mandy, one of those who were on board was my own relative, Thomas. Is there anything more you can tell me about him?
Well, I found a little bit about him this morning. Thomas Henry Davison, he was 32 when he boarded Titanic, with his wife Mary Elizabeth Davison, who was 34. Her maiden name was Fink. She survived, and she didn't pass on until 1939. And they were heading for Bedford at USA. I'm assuming that they were emigrating, but sadly, obviously, he never made it. And very often with third-class passengers who were emigrating, if the husband died in the sinking, the wife just turned around and came straight home again, because usually the husband had the money and the valuables on him, so she'd have been left impoverished, so she probably came straight back home to her family in the UK.
Alongside my relative were 29 passengers from the Channel Islands, 19 from Guernsey and 10 from Jersey.
Some very interesting stories of Jersey people, of heroism. 2 particular names spring to mind. One was Alfred Oliver. He launched in Lifeboat 5 and literally with a boat full of first-class ladies, very nervous, very frightened ladies, and as the lifeboat launched, he realised that it had already started sinking, and the reason was it launched so quickly that nobody had thought to put the bung in the bottom of the boat. So he literally crawled along under the feet of the first-class ladies, throwing ladies out of the way to get to the hole in the bottom of the boat to plug the hole, and steered this lifeboat through the night.
While the scans have brought a new dimension to the world's most famous ship, so many stories on board remain unsolved. And who owned this prized possession is at the heart of it all. Alex Spiceley, ITV News.
Well, Alex joins us now. Alex, extraordinary stories, extraordinary pictures there, including the necklace. Just remind us how they were able to achieve those results then.
Well, Jonathan, and I have to stress, all of the 700,000 images that were taken from the MV Freya here behind me were done so without any contact with the wreck at all. Instead, Magellan stayed at a distance and used 2 remotely operated robots to go down to the depth of around 6,000 metres and map the 3-mile area. And when the crew arrived, they decided to hold a minute's silence for all of those who lost their lives. But when it comes to the images of the megalodon tooth necklace, Well, I've been told the story is really just beginning, because speaking to Richard earlier, he told me that they're now looking at using artificial intelligence to look at both the crew list and also footage of people boarding the Titanic to try and work out who this necklace belonged to. They admitted it's another huge challenge to take on, but with a finite amount of people on board, cabins, as well as the necklace being so incredibly unique, they're confident that they can not only find out who it belonged to, but maybe also track down their descendants all these years later.
Wow, that would be something, wouldn't it? We will follow that story with you. Thank you very much for this evening, Alex. Thanks for that.